All right, you guys, good evening. It is Monday, November 11th, 2019. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for bearing with me as we get this thing kick-started. Again, welcome. And guys, welcome to you guys to showing up tonight to check out Uforia. So some of us are here, are a part of our organization and our team. There are other people here that are seeing what our group has going on and whatnot. So we're going to cover it from head to toe, just the scratch of the surface though. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. So first off, I'm going to actually pass this off to somebody else, Teresa, and I'm going to let her share a little bit about her story, and then we're going to kind of go from there. So first of all, you guys, Teresa is a dear friend of mine who I met just a couple months ago. We've actually known each other for a little over a year. And like I always say, she's a firecracker of energy. But on a real serious note, she is somebody who's just not become just a business partner, but a real good friend of mine, somebody who I can lean on, somebody who's been there in my life over the last couple months of a lot of transition, just personally in my own life and in my family's life. And she's just somebody who I can rely on. So she is a wife. She is a mother to a dog and 2 horses out in Bennett, Colorado, which is just outside of Denver. And she's just an amazing woman. She has a background in traditional business for about 20 years with her and her husband. And I'm going to let her share her story. But before we do, I'm going to pass it along to her by sharing a quick video. And then Teresa, I'll let you take it from there. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys.
Like us, there's many. Like you, they're individual. There's a tiny beginning, then flourishing. Everyone working together, dictating the environment, making a contribution with functionality and form, providing life for an entire life, even giving up life, so new life can begin. You and the leaf, alive for a reason, for a cause.
That really sets so deep in my heart because we are 99% alike. That's what connects us. We are 1% different. That's what makes us unique. Those gifts and talents we have in music, art, teaching, creating, and sharing a meal together. It's being able to make a difference in volunteering and just being present for others, sharing kindness and laughter, just a hug and a smile. And what I know is at the root of that is a root of our life is health, being able to be present, because health is life. And just to share a little bit about my story, it really goes back 12 years ago. My husband and I were merging off the highway, waiting for traffic, and we were rear-ended. And overnight, our lives completely changed. I spent the next year and a half seeing doctors 5 days a week, having multiple surgeries and taking lots of prescriptions. And what I know is our health doesn't just affect us. It affects our entire family and community. And it's very expensive. It's a #1 reason for bankruptcy, actually. And my husband and I lost just about everything except our home and 1 vehicle. And from there, my health just started deteriorating. I ended up being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, a severe autoimmune disease, and then one diagnosis turned into another, with lots of prescriptions. And let's see, a little nerves here, but I'm just sharing my story, guys. And you know, at that point, my life became real small. And I was only seeing my family and friends a couple times a year, and I was no longer being able to grocery shop and run errands. things that we just take for granted. And that became my new norm for the next 8 years. And then I learned about nutrition a few years ago, and how when you get the right nutrients in your body can actually heal. And by making some changes, I was able to work off a lot of my medications and put my rheumatoid arthritis into remission. But something was still missing, because as I got back into life and I started traveling and really embracing life, seeing my family and friends, my health started deteriorating again. And my symptoms started coming back. And so I started getting back in all the supplements, taking like 2-3 times the amount that I was, researching these foods that did this, these herbs that did that, but nothing was making a difference because I didn't know what my body needed. And then, you know, Uforia literally just dropped into my lap. And now this, and Cam's going to show you what I found and what Uforia gave me. This showed me what my body needed. And now this, and this is my supplement that was created specifically for me based on what my body needs down to the microgram. And now my energy has come up, my pain has dramatically decreased, and I am seeing changes in my health I have never seen. And my rheumatoid arthritis now has gone back into remission. But more importantly, I am being able to live my life. My choices are not being based on how I feel. They're being based on what I want to do. And you know, I know that our journeys, my journey is all for a reason. That's purpose. And now my passion is to align with this company that is making massive changes in our health to our company or to our country. We are aligning with individuals and doctors and the medical community to bring massive changes, and we are changing our healthcare from sick care to wealth care. To wealth care and wealth care. Now, we are making massive changes here, and I am so excited for our country's health, our future. And just to share a little bit more about that, I want to introduce you to our CEO, Mr. Ron Williams. He is the heart, the man, and the vision behind our company.
My name is Ron Williams. I am CEO and founder of Uforia Science. And everybody wants to know what Uforia Science is. It starts in a lab, world-class lab, HIPAA and CLIA certified, which means they operate at the highest standards of quality and efficacy, as well as the highest standards of security. Your information will never be seen or sold by anyone but you. And from the lab, they measure what are called your genetic SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms, which really we inherit from our parents, and they tell us a lot about genetic variants and what we might be susceptible to in our overall life and our health. And what's cool is once the results come out of the lab, there's an intellectual property of software that has been pioneered by some of the best minds on the planet with DNA. And what happens is your information goes through that sophisticated software and it produces a name, your name, and a barcode. Then the miracle happens. That name and barcode are then scanned by what we've called the Nutritionator. And the Nutritionator will make your very own designer nutrition using nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed ingredients just for you. So we find this to be extremely fascinating. We call that product Nutrition. It comes with your name on the label. So what's happening now is people are seeing this movement into DNA. You know, your DNA is your authority on nutrition. So everybody wants in. The problem is they're mimicking the message by saying, here's a DNA test, which is fantastic, by the way. And then they're just using pre-labeled, pre-fabbed, pre-made product off of someone's shelf using blind nutrition. So instead of doing a DNA test and blind nutrition, and here, go eat this, and go to the grocery store and buy that, and go to the health food store and buy this, that's a lot of stress and legwork. So what Uforia does is it removes all the legwork, removes all the guesswork, and it puts it in the palm of your hand, your very own nutrition. You know, I've had a few nights to sleep on this vision and this technology. And I think Uforia has the potential to become, to supplement companies, what Amazon has become to retail outlets. I think there'll come a day when our children's children will say, hey, you mean you guys used to use all the same nutrition for everyone? You know? So I think that this is the future. It's inevitable, and we're leading this future today. So clearly this is also, you know, a business movement. Talk about an opportunity to be on the ground floor of the future today. Even when it confronts the supplement industry, where will you be at the tipping point? And so this is going to be a business that really demands leadership, but it'll be dominated by customers. The nice thing is we've made it affordable. Actually, the technology has made it efficient and affordable. We did a study that if you went to a health food store and you were to try to replicate your nutrition and buying all the ingredients individually, it could cost upwards of a couple $1,000s. Nutrition is delivered to your door for $159. It's a lifetime of luxury. So this just isn't a new product. It's a complete paradigm shift. Being who we truly are at our core and our identity is life-giving in itself. It's empowering, it's liberating. So at Uforia, being you never felt better.
And now I would like to introduce Cameron James, who's going to share a little bit more about his story and the opportunity. And Cam is currently living in Seattle with his wife. He is a full-time entrepreneur for 3 years, and he leads and works with organizations in the hundreds. And really, he has a heart to bring wellness to people who are seeking to live a life on their own terms. And what I really admire and respect about Cam is his heart and his integrity. He just loves with his whole heart, and he really touches people in a way that they truly know they can make a difference, and that they are able to create a difference in this world in the same way that Cam has, through love, respect, and connection. And I would like, with that, it's my honor to introduce Cameron James.
Thanks, Teresa. I love you, and you're awesome. And now that my nerves have calmed down a little bit, I know I hopped on this call a couple minutes late and whatnot. So like I said, just rushing to get everything out. But like I always say when I hop on anything like this, like I want to start off with gratitude, just being thankful for the opportunity to share my story. It's an honor to be on here with you, Teresa, and with some of our other leaders that aren't even on the call today that asked us to do so. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my health. And I'm grateful for this business opportunity, for Ron Williams, Terry LaCour, and everybody that have put all this stuff together. So it's awesome to see a lot of familiar faces on this call. And if there's anybody I don't know, I look forward to getting to know you guys as we move forward. So yes, like Teresa said, I'll share a little bit about my story. And then, like I said last week, a couple of things that have stuck out to me that have really helped me to progress through this business. And first of all, my business, what's going on here? My personal background really starts it's just growing up in a middle-class family, and it just felt very mundane for me. I was an athlete since I was young, and as I got older, I really grew into becoming, what am I saying? I'm not gonna lie, I lost my train of thought here. Lifelong athlete, and I started working in the fitness field, right? So I was always around the atmosphere of protein, fitness, what are you eating in your diet and stuff like that. And it wasn't until about 4 years ago that somebody actually shared whole food nutrition with me. And it was at that point, and make sure this moves out here real quick. It was at that point that my eyes were really open to possibility of health. I think most people are between two phases in their life, which is sickness to wellness, or they're from wellness to peak performance. And at that point in time, like that's where I was at, was like, I thought I was healthy because I was lean my whole life. Like we have this society stereotypical view of being lean means being healthy. That's not what it was for me. You know, once I started to eat better, I went through a crazy transformation over the first 6 months. Fast forward over the next 6 months, I really started to elevate athletically. And it brought me to a point where I was like, I not only can help other people go through what I went through, but I should. Like I felt compelled. Like I felt like that was the thing that really transformed me, which is really the second part of my story that I love to talk about, is transformation, right? And it was actually just this last weekend. I was up in Northern Washington with a friend, and he's been a traditional business owner like ever since he got out of high school. And we were just talking and stuff like that. And I was really, I had this realization, like, why am I still in nutrition? Why am I still in wellness? You know, with all the other things I've gotten into, what led me back to getting back to right here? And to me, nutrition was the doorway to my life changing, right? Like there are so many things that I have done in the last couple of years. There's so many things that I will do. But if it wasn't for getting physically healthy first, I wouldn't be that. I wouldn't be all those things, right? So for me to go through that, it really inspires me to actually give that same opportunity, no matter what I do in my life, but to always have the door open for people to follow that trail, not my path, but just to come through the door to wherever they want to go through getting their physical health right. And I always say, like, who's not health conscious these days? Everybody is talking about health, what's the new fad and everything like that. And that brings me to the next point, which is about the video we just watched with Ron, right? About timing. And I was, like I said, that classic example that just took all the old products because they told me that it would be beneficial for me, but my body didn't tell me to take it, right? And it helped me a little bit. I took protein after my workouts. And there's really fancy stuff that's designed to do something, but your average person is just looking for their foundation of their health, right? Like I said, most people are looking to just wake up, have energy, sleep good, not have the 2 o'clock crash, and want to eat a salad a day, right? You know what I mean? So how can you help people do that? For me to start eating whole foods, I started taking nutrition. You know what I mean? I think we should totally get to a diet that looks like that. But everybody has a different way to get there. So when you look at the timing of what we're doing here, I was actually just watching another video from Ron today, and he was talking so much about, we're not in competition. This isn't like our berries are better than your berries, our essential oils are more pure than yours or anything like that. We have something that nobody else has, at least to the masses, right? And like that, again, it just brings so much gratitude to know that we have something to do like that. And there's probably people on this call that have heard that a million times, but to think about, this has been not even a year of a pre-launch, and where is this thing going to go? And I also love that Ron talked about not being, not being perfect, not being like, oh, well, everything needs to be perfect, right? But if you look at where the healthcare industry, healthcare, not sick care, is going, this is the way. Like, it's the way to know, like, let's listen to our bodies and see where this can take us. There are so many possibilities. I would even go as far as to say, what if one day that we were a fad, right? But the trajectory of where it took us was like, wow, we started listening to our bodies instead of just the person next to me. You know what I mean? For me, that's huge, especially with all the things that I've dabbled in. So the timing is so right. And then that leads me into transformation, which, like I said, personal transformation of who we are as people. But as we're transforming that healthcare industry, there was a study or some research that was done, and forgive me for not knowing where it was at or the exact number, but I do remember that they took a poll about over 50% of people feel like the medical industry is letting them down, or they can't trust their doctor, or maybe they can't trust them, but they just don't know if they should. You know what I mean? And we're empowered in this information age to where we don't have to go through somebody to get access to information. Now, there may be a lot of information that we need to siphon through and find the right information and whatnot, right? But the moral of the story is it's out there and it can be found, right? And that's, to me, again, that's just huge because we're changing an industry. So when I speak for a lot of our group, when I say this, is we're not out looking for people. This isn't your traditional network marketing where it's like, hey, I'm going to go out and like, I need to recruit and like look for the right people and stuff like that. No, we're sharing a message and we're broadcasting it as a radio station for the people who are looking for this, right? And there's some really cool things that I'm not going in on this call that our company is doing to work with the healthcare industry to really bridge that gap between people taking medicine and people taking nutrition. And again, for me, like, to be authentic, like, that inspires me. You know, imagine a world where the people who are educated with nutrition and health and medicine are prescribing nutrition. To me, like, yes, you know what I mean? Like, I'll go that path, you know what I mean? And again, it goes back to, that's where I've come from. I literally would not be standing here on this call with you guys today, which is the exact place that I should be if it wasn't for nutrition, you know what I mean? And me being opened up to it. And then another thing, again, I get a lot from Ron, you guys. If you don't listen to Ron Williams, you guys should. Like, I'm getting his message more and more. And he's talking about, like, while we're transforming forward, we're really getting back to our roots. You know what I mean? And if you look at how food used to be, it was a spiritual experience. And, you know, it's become art, which is cool. You know, we love to cook and it looks good and whatnot. But like, there's a relationship with food. You know what I mean? And when we find that correlation between what we're actually putting in our body and understanding that it has an energetic charge to it, it's not just about the protein that I can get or the carbs that I can get. It's the energy that's actually in the food that's becoming synergized with me, which means just becoming one with my body. Like, that's getting us back to the roots of getting us into nutrition. And when you look at our product and the stuff that's in it, we're getting those foundational nutrients. And just a little side topic while I'm thinking about that too is I love that it leads us to eating a certain way. And I have people to say, well, then I'll just get it from my diet. I don't think I eat 100 different, things on a daily basis to actually get all the nutrients that I need. And that's where we help to bridge the gap in today's society. So we as a mankind are evolving into new resources, into new technology by taking what I love to call ancient wisdom and modern science and putting it together. And that's what we have here, you guys. That's exciting. You know what I mean? So that's where the timing is meeting the transformation of what we're actually doing here. All right. And where are we at on time here? I know I wasn't going to go too long and whatnot. This is completely authentic. I just had some bullet points, but I do want to touch a little bit on the model that we have here. And I want to call it our expressive business model. And this term really just came to my mind. And I was like, okay, we can talk about our business model and whatnot. But what's so powerful about it is, to me, it gives people a voice. It gives us the opportunity to express our lives in the way that we want to live, right? I believe everybody wants some type of time freedom and financial freedom, and those boil down to the lifestyle that we want to live with ourselves, with our family, with our friends, and what we want to do on a daily basis. That's what our business model actually does here with Uforia. We get to work on the time that we want to work. So basically the schedule, we get to work where we want to work. I so appreciate that we can work from a virtual aspect and be able to have this conversation with, I don't even know how many people are on this call right now. But with that being said, like Ron says, belly to belly, getting in front of people and actually meeting with people, that's really where it's at. This just kind of like allows, again, the evolution of where we are at as human beings to just expedite that process. You know what I mean? It really allows us to do that. But ultimately to have those relationships where we can be where we want, enjoying our lives, how we want. Another big one for me is who. I personally, I love people so much. And there's certain people that I work with better than others, right? Like, let's be honest, I've had a very corporate desk job, and I love the people that were there. And there's just certain people that if maybe we did things a little bit different because we each had more flexibility, we would probably work a little bit differently, if you know what I mean. In this industry, we get to choose who we work with. You know what I mean? I think that's a huge blessing. I think it's something that's actually underrated. And again, our organization, our group, for those of you that are brand new to us, or whether you're just taking a look or you're brand new, it's not about how many people can I get on my team. This is not what this is about. This is about, like, who do I want to do life with? You know what I mean? Like I said, going back to Teresa, like, we're doing life together. We just happen to build a business as well. You know what I mean? And it's just incredible to be able to have that. Again, it just takes me back to gratitude to actually be at this point. And then the last thing I want to say on the topic of business is purpose. For me, this is giving me purpose. Like I said, that door that I talk about that really allows other people to say, how did you get over there? That's the bridge. Me was this nutrition, this opportunity, this business model. This is a bridge to help us get there. But ultimately, once you get there, you can go wherever you want to go, right? And it gives me that purpose to be able to give that platform back to other people in the same way that somebody did it for me. The purpose is huge. Like I said, as we evolve as human beings, I don't know where this is all going to go. I don't, but you know what I mean? It's fun right now, and my future is definitely exciting. So, like we always say, specifically to yourself and where this is going to go for you, whether you're brand new or you're taking a look, or maybe you've been here for a while and you're just reconnecting. Connect with the people that have shared this with you. We have an amazing community of people that are heart-centered and that can guide you to where it is that you want to go. Take advantage of that. We are a group of people that want to give. So get back with the person that invited you and talk more specifically about that. And I was thinking for a creative way to wrap this up, but I think this goes worth repeating again. And it's the same 3 questions that a lot of us ask at the end of the call, right? And the question is this: if it's not this, then what? Because the truth is, like I said, I think everybody wants some type of freedom. When you look at where society is going, we're such in a fast-paced environment. Where can you find the thing where you have the community around you, something that's brand new, where you're not in competition with everybody else, and you can build the lifestyle that you want. And that's something that's extremely valuable. Health, that everybody wants and needs, right? The second one, if not now, then when? And I probably need to ask myself that question the most. You know what I mean? Like taking advantage of the opportunity now while it is brand new. You know, it may sound cliche, but imagine being on the floor when Facebook and Google and Amazon and these things were brand new. Like if you were there at the ground floor, even if you were just a piece of it, yeah, it's cool, the financial piece, but imagine what your life looks like knowing like, wow, that big thing that's out there that everybody uses, like, wow, I was there for the beginning of it. That's cool. That's hella cool. The last one is not, if not you, then who? And the greatest way that I can articulate that is you now have this information, you now have this knowledge, you now know what exists. If you don't go out to the world and share it, who is? So with that being said, I appreciate all of you guys for joining tonight. I seriously love each and every one of you. And I'm just excited to continue on this journey. So take care, and you guys have a great night.